Happy, what is this, Wednesday? It's hump day. What up, my friends? Welcome, risers. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you with us today, Jim. All right. Yeah, good. Thank you. Good morning. Hey, Howard, how are you, my friend? I'm glad everybody's doing all right today on this Wednesday as we hurtle through August. August is going by very quickly. 5 by 5? And I'm not understanding. Is it that season again? Are we back to the roll tide thing? Lord help us. Hey, my friends, this is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Welcome, risers. For all you new folks, glad you're here. Telephone number to call is 850-771-0049. If you're new to the program, please, if you text in no pronouns, none. We give time out for that. We need to make sure that we are using proper nouns always, especially if you have a proper noun in the text, that's fine. But don't do an it or they or he or she or whatever without the proper noun in the very same text. Nick Saban sucks. Oh, okay. Different Nick. I was misunderstanding. Yeah. Good morning, Jessica. All right, everybody. Forecast for today. Yesterday was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. It's too hot. It's not too hot. This is why we live in Florida. It is not too hot. It is absolutely Buddhist. All right. Today's sunny, partly cloudy, stray shower, thunderstorm possible, high near 91. Chance rate 24%. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low near 76. And tomorrow, sunshine and clouds, mixed, stray shower, thunderstorm possible, high near 90. And the chance rate tomorrow, 20%. It's gorgeous. This is great weather for August. I'm just saying. Keith says it was hot. I do count you as my buddy. Lived 20 years in South Texas. And tell me this is hot. It's not hot. It's warm. It's not. I don't want to dig a ditch in it. But you can handle it. It was a great day for Florida. My show's on way too early in the morning. Tell me about it. I agree, Lyle. Well, yeah. If you cut the grass, it's going to be hot. Now, what time of day did you cut the grass, Keith? Did you do it at 2? No, it's not wise. Yeah, sit outside, sip, watch the sunrise, watch the show, sip some coffee. It's good. Hey, Lynn, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Gail, it's drier in South. Nope, not where I was. Victoria, Texas, it was 99% humidity every day. You go outside in the morning and water would be dripping off the roof like it had rained, and it had not. It was just water ringing out of the sky, just humidity. 4 p.m. Don't mow your grass at 4 p.m., Keith. 7. Do it at 6 or 7. You don't do it at 4. I know. All right. Enough of that stuff. Temperature, 75 in Milton, 83 Gulf Breeze, 78 in Navarre, and 77 in Bellevue. I love having the conversation with you guys. All right. So here we go. I just, there are certain things that just drive you insane. And this coronavirus stuff is just absolutely it is dumb. After the show is a good time to mow. It's still pretty early. And maybe sometimes your grass is too wet, though, at that point. Yesterday was beautiful, but today will be hot. Well, okay. Beginning at 8 a.m. tomorrow, Nomi Health will expand COVID-19 testing through 2 new testing sites in Santa Rosa County. These will be located at the following locations from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, Monday through Sunday. Why didn't they not say Sunday through Monday? Sunday through Saturday. They do Monday through Sunday. Is that the proper way to look at that? I don't know. We usually do Sunday through Saturday. But they're doing Monday through Sunday, just to throw you off. It's going to be at the Clyde L. Gracie Community Center on Byram Street and the Gulf Breeze Flea Market on Gulf Breeze Parkway. Testing will be offered on a first-come, first-served basis. No pre-screening or appointment required. Sites will offer walk-up testing with both PCR 24 to 48-hour results or rapid antigen testing, a 20-minute result available. Testing is available to insured and uninsured citizens. Insurance information will be collected. Yes, there you go. No week starts on, I'm just saying the calendar. The calendar starts on Sunday. I don't know, Kim. That is a good question. Why not say 7 days a week? Because they don't want to do that. It's all about. I know, Holly, I know. All right, so they're doing the testing, and now, has anybody gotten retested since this whole Delta variant, which they can't test for, since this whole thing started? Have you gotten retested? I don't know, Donna, and I don't know here's what I don't know. Now, with insurance, back in February, I paid $40 with insurance. Now, if you don't have insurance, are they not charging you anything? I don't know. I just don't know. A death investigation is underway after a man's body was found on Tuesday on Pensacola Beach. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office says the body was found around 7:20 a.m. floating near the pier on Casino Beach. It is a white male. So there you go. That's all they know. That's all they know at the moment, or releasing at the moment. Know what, Kim? What does know mean? To who is what? Good morning, Corey. Most places, schools won't accept rapid tests. I don't know that. Where did you hear that? I've never been tested for COVID. Okay, Sharon. Donna Donna says she got tested Friday. Donna, is that the second time or is that still the first time? Just ask. And I'm not asking for the results. I'm just asking and were you feeling bad as the reason that you went to get tested? I do want to know that. Good morning, Robin. Community center line. Community center is what? I can't see what that is. Is something test. It's free test. Okay. And Kim has not gotten tested either. Not gotten arrested either. So, Donna, that's your first COVID test. All right. Were you feeling bad? Were you feeling bad as a reason that you went to get tested? So Hobbs Middle School is not accepting the rapid test. I don't know why that would be. None of them are accurate. It's a hit and miss. So Donna, I was sick. Yes, and that's going around. But I'm surprised it didn't show up as a positive test, which is good. Kim was retested. All right. Oh, you've not gotten retested. Gotcha. Okay. No, who's gotten tested twice? Testing was free at Walgreens. So why are they asking for insurance information? Because they got to recoup this money somewhere. And they're billing your insurance company. Otherwise, it's free. I don't have insurance. Health officials across the country are urging people to get vaccinated as COVID-19 cases are on the rise again, but many are still on the fence. Fence riders. For expectant mothers, the concern isn't about them, it's about the vaccine's potential effects on their unborn babies. Yeah. Preggers. Dr. Jill Prafke says pregnant women are at a higher risk of getting seriously ill or dying from COVID because their immune system is compromised. So getting vaccinated is worth it. It's worth the risk. They're going to develop antibodies that can be transmitted to their baby before birth, like other vaccinations. We recommend like Tdap to help protect against pertussis. So when the baby's born, they can have antibodies against COVID-19. It's also transmitted in breast milk or chest feeding, if you missed the other day. So the vaccine is transmitted in breast milk. Do you feel better about that or worse? Dr. Prafke says the vaccine does not impact fertility. How do you know that? How do you know that the vaccine does not affect fertility? There's no way to know that. Absolutely none. It's too early. Not taking experimental big pharma. I know. A huge portion of those vaccinated pregnant have lost their babies or stillbirths. Again, I don't have that kind of information shared. What I do know is this story from Northwest Florida. They're trying to convince pregnant mothers to gestational individuals. I don't know. You got to come up with a better name. Well, there's that. The normal appointment charge of $140. So I went to Pro Health. If you have to pay to go there, no line, no wait, $60. Well, I don't know. I can't say that for sure, Christina. But what I do know is they don't know. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what is. Dr. Prafke reassures moms who are concerned about potential long-term effects of the vaccine. She says if there are problems with any vaccine, they'll usually appear within the 2 to 3 months. And she hasn't seen any issues since the COVID vaccine was first administered in our area 8 months ago. Now, this is the first time I've heard 2 to 3 months. It's always 2 to 3 years. And is it a good idea for pregnant women to get vaccinated? Stephanie says, last year I was tested due to call on a Monday from a dentist saying that they had someone test positive when I was there. Oh, my. Okay. Felt sick over the weekend. I hope you're feeling better. The symptoms for Delta are the same as, It is. And listen, if you do something like Zicam, it mirrors the no taste, no smell. It does affect your smelling and tasting. Oh, I know. You need to shut up for the greater good because I'm going to beat the crap out of you. I saw the Baby that died. Well, I don't know. Send it to me. Right. Vaccines are normally trials for 5 to 10 years. You can see what the results are. If they get cancer, what, birth defects, all that kind of stuff. And they can't tell with this one because it's so new. I don't think that I'm just, if you want to get it, fine. But I just think that pregnant women should not, I mean, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, don't do it. I know, Sharon, it does make your foil hat tingle, does it not? It's one of those things. Ed totally trusts Bill Gates. I hear you, Ed. But I just think this is a totally terrible idea. If individuals want to get it, I'm fine with that. If you want to do that, knock yourself out. But I do not. They're not being. You're right, Elizabeth. They're not. But if you are pregnant or you're breastfeeding, don't do it. If you're scared, stay home. Wear a mask, but do not do this. People capable of childbirth is a term. I don't think so, Justin. It is what I saw was it yesterday or the day before. It was gestational persons or something bizarre like that. And now the third booster is recommended. Yes, even professional pest control products are tested 10 years in the market. Keith, that is a pronoun. What isn't acceptable? All the professional medical doctors' opinions and ideas all over the planet are censored. It is. Birthing persons. It's gestational persons. I know it's called a mother. I know, but this is the new language, the lingo. And you got to fall in line. 850-771-0049. Fourth dose? Oh. Hey, I want to thank our sponsors, Gulf Coast Guns. Go to gulfcoastgun.com. Go check them out. They got some beautiful shirts, some nice weapons, and they have ammunition. Check them out. We appreciate them so much. Let them know you appreciate them sponsoring the program. Also, before I get too far into this, don't forget Reclaim Santa Rosa. Let me get some stuff out of the way here real quick. This is coming up on August 27th. That's a Friday. August 27th at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be at Southern Raceway. Someone's going to say, can you repeat that? August 27th at 6:30 p.m. at Southern Raceway. We're having a rally to vocalize what we want to happen. Look, not being represented by county commissioners, not being represented by the school board, not being represented by some local mayors. Guest speakers, Recall Florida, Chris Smith from Gulf Coast Gun, Tommy Nichols is going to be there. James Calkins, Larry Hatu, and Convention of States, and Demolition Derby, and music, and lots of fellowship and fun, being around like-minded people. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a night. With yours truly. I will be there. Of course, Chris Smith is with Gulf Coast Gun. Tommy Nichols is Blue Collar Voice. So there you go. Make sure that you show up. It's going to be a great night. And we will have a good time. August 27th at 6:30 p.m. It is free. It is free. And Jan wants a coffee cup. Or somebody else wanted the coffee cup too. I will have the mugs there. Is there going to be funnel cakes? I don't know, but there's going to be concessions. They will have concessions. All right. So just make plans to attend, and we will have a good time that night, I promise. Promises. Be a lot of fun. I know. The mugs will be there. Beer, Katie wants to know. I believe so. I believe so. Yay. What's the real question? The real questions? I don't know what that means, Marla. Don't sell my coffee cup, Donna says. I won't. All right, so here's the thing with the coffee cups. Because coffee cups are not free. They will be $10 flat. But I adjusted the price so tax is included in that. So it's just it's a $10 bill. Do I sign them? I don't know. The beer garden will be open. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, you got to be more specific. All right, real cool. Very good. Let's continue on. We went off the rails. Police say a 34-year-old woman killed her 14-year-old disabled daughter inside a Pensacola hospital room in July. Police announced Tuesday morning that Jessica Bortle, 34 of Bonifay, was arrested Monday on manslaughter charge. She's being held in a Escambia County jail without bond. The victim is 14-year-old Jasmine Singletary. Police say Singletary, who's disabled with a neuromuscular disorder, was admitted to Ascension Sacred Heart in Pensacola on July 8th for an infection. The fatal incident happened on July 13th while she was alone in her hospital room with her mother and her grandmother. According to police, Singletary lost consciousness while in her hospital bed and died despite life-saving measures taken by hospital staff. An autopsy on July 21st showed that she suffered massive internal injuries to her ribs and liver while in the bed, injuries that weren't present when she was admitted to the hospital. Police say investigation determined that Bortle caused the fatal injury to her daughter. The arrest report states doctors said the injuries were similar to those found on traffic crash victims. It adds that the injuries happened through blunt force trauma. Well, Mother of the Year. The grandmother was in the room as well. And it was over crayons. It was over crayons. 15 years is what they're talking. 15 years for killing your daughter. She's not a mother. She's not a mom. Wow. Imagine hating your sick child so much that why didn't you just leave the room? Why didn't you just leave the room? No. Blunt force trauma. I slammed the story is that they slammed the tray table into her and then leaned on it. Yes, Sandra, she did. Oh, my word. These people are out of their mind. But again, I want you to look at this. I shake my head. I weep for humanity. I weep for humanity. I wonder who gets life in prison. I don't know. If you were at the rally on January 6th, you probably do. It's capital murder. That woman should get the death penalty. And it's 129 days till Christmas. Amen. Hey, I got some great new Christmas music. Or great new old Christmas music, Justin. Blues. It's awesome. All right. 850-771-0049. We're digressing. We're going off the rails. Coronavirus hospitalizations in Escambia County continued to set all-time highs over the weekend, reaching 386 patients on Monday. The latest data available from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that 28% of Escambia County hospital beds were occupied by COVID-19 patients as the number of new cases continued to climb. 8 of the 386 beds occupied by COVID-19 patients were people under 18 years old. 8 of the 386 were under 18. Bum, bum, bum. What kind of other health conditions do these people under 18 have? I don't know. Well, that's a good question, Elizabeth. The COVID-19 test done in Escambia County last 7 days had a positivity rate of 30.5%. Now, that's 30.5% of the people that got tested. It's not of the community. It's of those that got tested. But there's upper respiratory stuff going around. So 70% got tested because they were sick with upper respiratory. I'm not going to go get tested if I'm not sick. And you may, if you're going on a cruise, we got a cruise story in a minute. But you don't have to get a test to go on a flight, just on a cruise. How many of that 70% were going on a cruise? Let's be realistic. Oh, I want to do that. Cassandra, I lost my thing. I do want to go on that ghost walk in October. I do. Bob says, read where COVID spread is 1 infecting 3. Delta's 1 infecting 9. I don't know. There's no way they can't test for that. Viral shedding by vaxxed. Funny how Delta strain just exploded. Been fighting pneumonia since June. I'm sorry, Sandra. Sometimes I feel like we're being flyover sprayed with the virus. Oh, the chemtrails. We are going way off the rails. The Florida Department of Health reported that statewide 286 people died from the virus last week. The overall case mortality rate for the state was 1.4%, or 185 people for every 100,000 people. Bum, bum, bum. The State Board of Education on Tuesday ratcheted up pressure on officials in 2 school districts who want student mask mandates with exceptions only for medical reasons, floating the possibility that district leaders who defy state directives could be removed from office. The board, during an emergency meeting, voted to direct State Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran to investigate the actions of Alachua and Broward County school officials. Alachua, sorry. The result could include withholding funds from District State Board Chairman Tom Grady said, adding it may involve withholding salaries. It may involve removing officers. It may involve reviewing school district conduct. However, it did not impose such penalties on Tuesday. Just says there's going to be at least 2 more variants before 2020 ends. At least 1 more. For Christmas, there's going to be a Christmas variant. Now, listen, Corey, not only is New York requiring vax papers, they're requiring IDs. Now, the same Dems who don't want IDs for voting because that's racist, you can have an ID with your vax papers. Keith says, can I share a Crime Stoppers type tidbit? Yeah, I guess. There are doctors stating that there are variations now from the vaccinated. They keep the number of vaxxed out of the news. Yes. How many COVID patients are being discharged? You're right. How many are recovering? But you're seeing, they just keep, I don't know. You get it. You know what they're doing. You're right, Corey. It does. It makes your head hurt. All right. Let's continue on. Tennessee's former top vaccination official. Where's she at? Here's her picture. Oh, lovely. She's lovely. She's Dr. Michelle Fiscus. She told state investigators in July that she received a dog muzzle in the mail, which she deemed to be a threat to keep her quiet. The muzzle, however, was bought on an Amazon account and with an American Express card. It's in her name. Yeah. There's a state investigation. When you do stuff like this, it's a hate crime, and there's an investigation. It shows it's your card and your account. There's no evidence to indicate the dog muzzle was intended to threaten Dr. Fiscus. Fiscus, a pediatrician, was the state's medical examiner director of the Vaccine Preventable Disease and Immunization Program. She was fired July 12th in a political firestorm less than 2 weeks after she said she was mailed the muzzle. She said her firing was a political decision to placate lawmakers who disapproved of the health department's outreach to vaccinate teenagers against COVID. No, it's because you're a fraud. You're a fraud. Caught red-handed with the muzzle. Nice. She said it to herself. Kyle says you need to get Bob Cole one of those. We need to get up a GoFundMe to buy Bob Cole a soul. I know. She is a freak. She ought to be stripped of her medical license. She ought to be stripped of her medical license. You can't do that kind of stuff. She probably bought it after a cocktail or two and forgot about it. No, she did it to try to point the blame at you anti-vaxxers and anti-mask people. Because you're let go by his own muzzle. Federal officials are extending into January a requirement that people on airline flights and public transportation wear face masks. Oh, joy. I don't like flying because it adds to the unjoyfulness. The Transportation Security Administration was scheduled to enforce the rule until September 13th, said Tuesday that the mandate will be extended until January 18th. The TSA briefed airline industry representatives on its plan Tuesday and planned to discuss it with airline unions on Wednesday. The mask rule also applies to employees on planes and public transportation. The mandate's been controversial, led to many encounters between passengers who don't want to wear a mask and flight attendants asked to enforce the rule. The Federal Aviation Administration said Tuesday that airlines have reported 3,889 incidents involving unruly passengers this year. But 74% of those involved those refusing to wear masks. Oh, my word. You're going to have to mask up until January 18th. Welcome to the airlines. Now, here's my question. Because Hawaii is threatening lockdowns in 2 to 4 weeks. Well, I know, Elizabeth. It did. It also went after the holidays. To keep this up, they're going to have to build a whole lot more jails to put us all in. And they're going to have to refund the police to get it done. Yeah, if you're afraid of getting sick, stay home. Exactly. Now, Hawaii is threatening lockdowns again. What if this happens? Could this happen right before? Look, yeah, I think it's getting wild. We've got another election coming up. Is this going to happen? I know they have to fake hate crimes because you people aren't cooperating. Justin. Nice for Justin. But it's so wild. We are coming up. Wrong, Nick. Masks will be mandated after the midterms. I'm saying it, the lockdowns, it's coming. It's coming. Right before you're right. They are doing it. And they're going to use them. I do feel them coming on. This is interesting. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention's recent data of the contagious Delta variants, which they can't test for. When you go get tested, They're just testing for an RNA sequence. So they can't tell if you have flu, COVID, regular COVID, super COVID. That Delta variants account for more than 90% of new coronavirus infections across the U.S. Really? Really? The primary Delta strain accounted for 83.4% of infections in a 2-week period that ended July 31st. Other Delta strands represented another 10%. COVID-19 is threatening to overwhelm U.S. hospitals and regions where large swaths of unvaccinated people provide little resistance to the highly contagious Delta variant. Florida reached a new peak on Tuesday. As of August 3rd, 11,550 people hospitalized with COVID-19. Maybe. It passes the normal. Maybe. I don't know. Lockdowns is the only way to cheat. It's not the only way to cheat, but it does help them. Santa Rosa School Board meeting Thursday, August 19th at 9 a.m. Also, workshop meeting for the county commissioners at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Just so you know. The strains will keep getting worse. Keep the fear-mongering going, yes. Listen to this. This is kind of interesting as well. Brett Favre has been making the rounds because he is trying to promote keeping kids from playing tackle football until a certain age because of brain injuries, right? The risk to discuss associated with kids playing tackle football. But CNN, he made the stop by CNN. I don't know why, but you think this is pretty harmless, right? But you've got to see this. This is the weirdest thing ever. I'm going to pull this off here so you can see Brett Favre. But listen, as he's there to talk about brain injuries in kids playing tackle football, the host then digresses. Check this out.
A struggle among some athletes, especially when people look to them as role models when it comes to the COVID vaccine.
Well, there's a great deal of uncertainty. You hear one thing.
So she goes from the helmet thing and attacking Brett because NFL players are not talking about vaccines.
That's totally different the next. And this is from experts on both sides of the argument. And you know, the vaccine or the vaccines that have been administered within the last 6 to 8 months didn't go through a 20 or 30 year human trial study that FDA requires. So we're sort of the human trials, if you will, and you know, I think
we are the human trials.
Frightened by that, and the conflicting info that we're all getting.
But there isn't really conflicting info that the vaccine is safe, effective, and needed, and is a public health matter. I mean, would you?
Well, she's saying, well, it's not. Brett's saying we're the human trials. It's not been tested. It usually goes through a period, and it hasn't done that, and so we're the human trials. And she says, well, it has. It is fake. Everybody agrees. Everybody. This is the gaslighting that the left does. It is safe. Everybody says it's safe. Everybody. But all the doctors, all the way through, say it's safe. Because they're muzzling those who say it's not safe. It is a thing. It is a thing. They are muzzling those who say it's not safe. People. Children's helmets were insurrectionists on you. Yeah, we are the human trials. They don't know. They keep saying it's safe and effective. Number one, it has not proven to be effective. People are getting COVID. that have the vaccine. It's not proven effective. We've not had time to prove it's safe. And they aren't touting people that die from they're not saying that people die from the vaccine. So we don't know that it's safe and effective. We don't know. They keep saying this. Listen, Brienne, he was caught off guard. Stop being available. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about Brett or me? Man, that's whatever. Stop being available for what? Them. That's a pronoun. Stop being available for what? So you've got Brett Favre, who is there to talk about protecting children from tackle football until they reach a certain age. And she blindsides him. But they are gaslighting. They are gaslighting. It is safe. Everybody agrees it's safe. Well, because you're Muslim people that disagree. Doctors that disagree. I literally know just many people that have COVID that were vaccinated. Yes. Yes. It isn't that effective. Donna says, there have been bad reactions to the vaccines. No mainstream. You're right. That stuff is not being reported. Let me get to this. I'll come back. Let me see. Where is that? At least 26 fully vaccinated Carnival Cruise members were once vaccinated passengers. And one vaccinated passenger. So 26 fully vaccinated, one unvaccinated. Oh, and one vaccinated. 26 crew members and one passenger, all vaccinated. I want to make sure I get that right. 26 crew members, one passenger, all vaccinated, have tested positive for COVID-19 on a cruise. The Carnival Vista, carrying more than 1,400 crew and nearly 3,000 passengers, was headed back to Galveston, Texas, after having stopped in Mexico. The outlet reported that a statement from the Belize Tourism Board noted that all 27 people with confirmed cases had mild or no symptoms and were in isolation. Now, if you have no symptoms, why would you get tested for COVID? If you have a vaccine, you got the jab. If you got the jab and you have no symptoms, why are you being tested for COVID? Does anybody ask that question? So they've had mild or no symptoms. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. Let's we'll see if they cover that, Stephanie. I hope they do. The statement noted that 99.98% of the ship's crew was vaccinated, as well as 96.5% of the passengers. On Friday, Carnival said it was managing a small number of positive COVID cases, all vaccinated. Carnival's managing that, despite all of our crew and almost all of our guests being vaccinated, we have managed the situation utilizing stringent health protocols, which include placing those who tested positive in isolation and close contacts in quarantine. Now, if you have a cruise ship full of vaccinated people, that's where it's at. It didn't say there were any unvaccinated people that had it. 26 crew members, one guest, all vaccinated. Why are you putting them in quarantine? Why would you put them in quarantine? Stephanie, I'm coming right to that. I'm going to come right to that in a second. Denise, post a link. What is this link for? Oh, Patriots has national protest against mandating vaccine for health workers. Good. Check that out. Yes, they are keeping that stuff out of the mainstream. They are filtering because you aren't cooperating. But you've got a cruise ship full of vaccinated people. And you've got to show your vaccine card. The only ones who can get on there is if they have a medical excuse and have tested negative. So why are you quarantining vaccinated people? I don't get it. If it works, it's effective. Everybody, it's safe, it's effective. Really? You've got a ship full of vaccinated people, and they're quarantining the vaccinated sick. Just interesting. Americans have received countless mixed messages about the effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines, natural immunity, herd immunity, and virus transmission. Dr. Michael Siegel, neurologist and neuroscientist, wrote a piece for the Wall Street Journal attempting to clear up some of the misconceptions about how immunity works when it comes to vaccines and natural immunity. Hear this. He reached a conclusion that should pique the interest of millions of Americans. People who have had COVID-19 and recovered should not be required to get the vaccine because they are less likely to spread the virus than vaccinated people who've never been infected. Siegel began his piece with a question that's been in the minds of many Americans confused by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's vacillating guidelines. Vaccinated people are supposed to resume wearing masks lest they contract and spread the virus. Yet unvaccinated people are still strongly urged to get the shots. The truth is, there's more than one kind of immunity, Siegel said. First, he noted there's internal immunity, which, according to Siegel, protects the inside of the body, including the lungs. It occurs by release of antibodies in the immunoglobulin G type, or IgG, into the blood and protection of T cells. Vaccine shots are highly effective at stimulating this type of immunity. So inside, but hear this. The second immunity was mucosal immunity, which is the defense line that protects the nose and the mouth. And that only comes if you had COVID. It decreases the likelihood of spreading to others. This is an immunity that is not normally obtained by vaccines. If you had it, you don't need the vaccine, and you don't need a mask. Blood glass smear. Oh, I know. I saw that. I watched that video. I know. My immunity is good as well. I want them to test me for antibodies. I don't want to test for COVID. I want you to test me for antibodies. That's what I want. You better watch your language, Stephanie. Yes, I saw that. I saw the video, saw the slide. So anyway, you get it. Dr. Siegel's like, and you're not hearing people talk about natural immunity. All you're hearing is, you got to get the jab. It's not if you've not had COVID. If you've not had COVID, you need to get the shot. You're hearing, it's so, for scientists and them wanting you to pay attention to science, there's not much science going on here. I think brown liquor will kill the Rona and coffee. Kill it with coffee. $70 antibody test at ProHealth. Oh, I need to check that out. Some kind of school bus fiasco going on the past couple of days. Well, they're short of. We talked about this the other day, Justin. You may not have been getting up at this point yet, but the school system was caught off guard by going back to normal pickup, because last year this is not a normal year, because last year we had COVID and people were at home, kids stayed at home and did school from home, and so this year we went back to normal, which makes it not a normal year. So they weren't expecting to have all these pickups. That's what they said. So just so you're confused, if you're confused, you know what's going on. I don't know what EO is. Horrible side effects for sticking up your nose. Free with the donation at One Blood. Oh, okay. The antibodies. Big Pharma needs the money. I know. We get it. We get it. But you got to understand. The science, their science is not supported by real science. Science is trying to find out the truth. They want you to see one side of it. That is not the truth. That's propaganda. That is terrible. That is not science. Oh, my. We need to continue. We're running out of time quickly. So, 1 week ago, Andrew Cuomo gave New Yorkers his 2-week notice of resigning his office. But he's not turned in the notice. He gave the notice verbally, but he's not turned in the paper, his letter of resignation. Wow. Cuomo has not actually resigned. It's not official until that paper is in. Think about that. I mean, Corey says, I don't just mean Fauci science. I mean any of the science from the CDC, any of this stuff. It is all bogus. Or to keep you in line. Several U.S. media reports that an estimated somewhere between 10,000 and 40,000 American citizens are still in Afghanistan as of yesterday. 10,000 to 40,000. An administration official who was not authorized to speak on the record told me that there are, not me, but this reporter, that there are an estimated 10,000 U.S. citizens in the country, with the vast majority in or near Kabul. Some residents, journalists, or aid workers who may not want to leave. Really? They don't want to leave? I'm sure that the threat of having your head cut off would make you want to leave. The White House, get this. The White House is depending on the Taliban to give evacuating Americans safe passage because you can trust the Taliban. They're depending on the Taliban to give evacuating Americans safe passage to the airport just 6 weeks after President Biden said he doesn't trust the terrorist organization. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan joined White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki at the podium for a press conference on Tuesday, where they took questions about the fallout from the troops' withdrawal from Afghanistan. Sullivan told reporters that the administration expects that the Taliban will have to be watched and observed over time, whether it's prepared to meet their obligations to the basic human rights and human dignity of people, to the safe passage of people to the airport. The Taliban have informed us that they are prepared to provide safe passage of civilians to the airport, and we intend to hold them to that commitment. Really? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? I don't know. When's the last time that you could depend on the Taliban to do the right thing? Let's ask this guy. Oh, I'm sorry. You cannot, because his head's off. You get me? You cannot. Exactly, Angie. You cannot believe the Taliban. We're going to give them safe passage. We're going to, it says here that they vow they will not harm innocent civilians. But infidels, off with their heads. They've started to collect guns and ammunition from Afghan civilians. Reuters, citing a Taliban official, reported that the group said people in the city will no longer need to hold on to their weapons because they no longer need personal protection. They can now feel safe. Reuters spoke with one business owner who told that Taliban fighters already visited his workplace to inquire about where his security team keeps its weapons. Nice. You don't need personal security. We're here. We're going to take your guns because you don't need them anymore. Nice. All right. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? The timing probably couldn't be worse for the Biden administration. On Friday, Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to embark on a trip across the Pacific, which will include a stop in Vietnam. To kind of help you kind of do that comparison between Afghanistan train wreck and the Vietnam train wreck. The trip, which will be Harris's second overseas venture since taking office, comes as the current crisis in Afghanistan has drawn many comparisons to the end of the U.S. involvement in Vietnam in the 1970s. For some of you who are too young for that, you need to go look it up. One more before we get out of here. This will make you... Hobby Lobby was ordered to pay $220,000 to a transgender employee who had been banned from using the women's bathroom as it requested. The craft supply company tried to accommodate Megan Somerville's requests when they transitioned a decade after being hired in 1998, but the company drew the line at her choice of bathrooms. Hobby Lobby changed Somerville's personnel records and benefits information to reflect the female identity. However, Hobby Lobby refused to allow Somerville to use the women's bathroom at the store because it's not a woman. Somerville claimed that the company's transgender rules caused her emotional toil that manifested in physical illness. Hobby Lobby's bathroom ban gave Somerville recurrent nightmares about bathrooms, being approached by men. Well, I thought that's part of the thing about being a woman. You want to be a woman so you can be approached by men. I don't know. I don't know. And being physically assaulted and laughed at by them. Stop being a freak. And read the summary. She also developed physical symptoms, including headaches, fatigue, muscle cramps, gastric problems, and dehydration due to restricting her fluid intake. Now, well, why didn't she just say the men's restroom identifies as a women's restroom? I don't know. But she got $220,000, Sandra. $220,000. All those symptoms, headaches, fatigue, muscle cramps, gastric problems, that is your problem. Among other things, you complete freak. If you're going to do that, know that you're going to have the world doesn't have to cater to you. The world does not, they did not say you could not use the bathroom. No one said you couldn't use the bathroom. They said you couldn't use the women's bathroom because you're not a woman. You're not a woman. You got a 5 o'clock shadow. You're not a woman. You use the proper bathroom. I don't care how you identify. You use the proper bathroom. They Hobby Lobby accommodated, changed personnel records, all that kind of, your identity on your paperwork. Stop expecting the world to bend to your whims. We're done. All right. Again, thank you to Gulf Coast Gun. Check them out, gulfcoastgun.com. Like the video, share the video. Also, remember, the Reclaim Santa Rosa, Taking Back What's Yours, coming up August 27th at 6:30 at Southern Raceway. And we hope to see you there. Make your plans now. August 27th at 6:30 at Southern Raceway. Great speakers, great music, Demolition Derby. Woot, woot. We'll have a good time. All right, kids. Well, we will see you tomorrow on a Thursday. You have a blessed, wonderful day.